What's up, everybody? It's your boy Splash, and today we have a fun video. This will be a conversation starter for sure, because it is my top 10 Marvel superheroes. So went through, the Marvel catalog, stuff I've read, characters I've read over the years, and I kind of came up with my top 10 superheroes from their verse. This won't include anti-heroes or anyone of that sort, so like Punisher, Sentry, those types, the edgier ones won't be on this specific list. If you want to see like anti-heroes, I'll make that list, of course. This isn't like strongest superheroes, but like the way I consider these characters is like how great they are to me in storytelling, how good of characters they are, relevance. The only character on here, and I'll 100% admit bias, I don't like 616 Peter Parker. Can't stand Spider-Man. Spider-Man's not on my top 10, but I'll acknowledge if we were like talking about relevant superheroes, of course he's top 10, but can't stand Spider-Man, not putting him in my top 10. That's fine. But anyways, as I go through the video and kind of give a brief explanation for why I put people in certain spots, let me know down below who your top 10 Marvel superheroes are. And with that being said, we're going to go ahead and kick off the list. At number 10, I put Franklin Richards. Now, a couple reasons I like Franklin Richards is, one, if Franklin Richards turns up, you're about to get some crazy ass power displays within the comics. We saw little boy Franklin create a pocket universe under his blanket. Like, he doesn't give a shit. We've seen him make Galactus his herald. Personally, what made me have to put Franklin Richards on this list is he had one of my favorite Marvel comic moments, was when he was in the crib, not the baby crib, but he was at the house, and I believe it was Red Hood pulls up. Did I say Red Hood? I'm so fucking tired. It's Red Skull. Anyways, Red Skull pulls up and is talking mad trash, and Lil Franklin is dressed like a cowboy. He's like, bro, put them hands up, chief. And he has a toy gun, and Red Skull's like, dude, like, I'm not finna be held up by a kid. And Franklin's a reality warper, so when he shoots his toy gun, he actually shoots Red Skull. And he was like, yo, I told you, like, put your hands up. So, like, yeah, Franklin Richards has always been a fascinating character, especially where they put him in terms of power scaling. He can vary from, just doing regular reality warping to universal, multiversal type scales. So yeah, I put Franklin Richards at number 10 for myself. Now at number 9, there's two characters kind of tied for me, but Iron Fist and Luke Cage, aka Iron Fist and Power Man. They had one of the more fun runs in Marvel Comics as Iron Fist and Power Man, where they are probably the most known duo in Marvel Comics, as far as like when you say, hey, what are some people, like characters you name that were always partnered up? Iron Fist and Power Man come to mind. They both have an interesting dynamic, with Iron Fist, being able to almost punch through anything, and Luke Cage almost able to take any punch because of his unbreakable skin. They were very fun. Luke Cage has one of the funnier comics. I believe it was Luke Cage number 8, in which Dr. Doom owed him a couple $100, and he went to Latveria to get his money back. And then Iron Fist, I've always just loved his character, as far as getting taken into Kunlun as a young boy, learning the way of the Iron Fist, and his gradual power up over time, and his connection with Shao Lao the Undying. So both characters are very interesting to me, especially as a duo. That's why I put them together at the number 9 spot. Number 8, Daredevil. Matt Murdock's always been a fun character. A lot of the way he acts as a superhero is based in his Catholic roots. He won't kill because of his faith, but he's had a couple moments where, he questioned whether or not it was okay for him to kill. He's a lawyer. I've always loved that aspect of him. So he's not like a detective or anything, or not one of those, but he is very smart, very capable, oftentimes as a lawyer for superheroes. He's blind, which makes him unique, but he has his super senses that even rival and sometimes surpass the Spidey sense. And I've always loved Daredevil for his grittiness, his toughness. He's a known tough guy, and his unique nature and his unique power set. Coming in at number 7, I have Nova / Kid Nova. New Marvel stories get a lot of backlash as not being good, but one of the newer line of stories I enjoyed thoroughly was the Kid Nova storyline, and I believe they're making a movie on Kid Nova, but it might be regular Nova, Richard Rider, I'm not sure, but Kid Nova was a very fun character, found the helmet of his dad, who he thought was just a crazy drunk telling wild, fantastical stories of the Nova Corps. Kid Nova, it's about him growing up, accepting the power of the Nova when he puts the helmet on, gets it fixed, has some crazy battles. He had a run with Beta Ray Bill, and his power level is a lot stronger than people think. He's a definite threat, and it makes sense because we know classic Nova, Richard Rider, could run up on Galactus and not be worried. And it's like the intergalactic policeman kind of idea has always been fun. I've always liked the Lanterns in DC for that reason. But yeah, I love Kid Nova, and I hope they do make the movie about him, and that's why I have him at number 7. Number 6, I have Black Bolt. A lot of people might not agree with this, but every time Black Bolt turns up in a story, I immediately pay more attention because he is the king of the Inhumans, basically dollar store mutants, whatever. But Jay Lee's run with the Inhumans was amazing. Black Bolt is the king, and as such, it's awesome seeing the way he operates because he has to operate in a way that doesn't jeopardize his people. Black Bolt also has the curse of not really being able to talk. If he whispers, he's going to blow away a mountain, Regular talk can destroy planets. And what makes him so much fun is when he's a very docile character, but when you piss off Black Bolt, he is coming for your neck. Like, I remember Apocalypse saw a pissed off Black Bolt. It was like, no beef. And then Black Bolt blasted him anyway. Gave us one of the more Chad moments with Thanos when Thanos was trying to get Black Bolt to snitch. Black Bolt screamed in his face, and Thanos was like, take your secrets to the grave, little man, and then just choke slammed him. And yeah, oftentimes Black Bolt, when we know he's about to turn up in a fight, it's about to get real. And people don't talk about it a lot, but Black Bolt is oftentimes used as a measuring stick. Like, if your character tanks a Black Bolt yell, you use that as a durability feat. Like, that, it's just like, he took a Black Bolt hit. So yeah, I love Black Bolt as a character, especially after the Jay Lee run, and that's why I have him at number 6. Number 5, Doctor Strange. Doctor Strange is a pioneer for Marvel in terms of the mysticism, the sorcery. Classic Doctor Strange was absolutely wild with the stuff he used to do. The high-level battles he partaked in. I love Doctor Strange as a character. Very smart, very wise. Often has to deal with problems behind the scenes that aren't like main Marvel issues as far as, in the background. So he's dealing with stuff. Hairball. He's dealing with stuff that most of the main superheroes don't have any experience with or don't even really notice. As a result, we get some very interesting stories with Doctor Strange. In his current run, where he's beefing with amped up Galactus, very good. But yeah, I've always loved Doctor Strange, and that's why I'm at number 5. Number 4, Hulk. Very simple reason for why I like Hulk. He just shows up to beat the crap out of people. It's been a staple of his character. It's the reason why, you have so many arguments in the fandom about Hulk can beat your favorite character, because Hulk will just get more pissed. But also, World War Hulk and the Greg Pak storyline sealed him as one of my favorites just because Bruce Banner himself is such an interesting character. He's a genius himself. He's not underestimated by anyone, including the likes of Tony Stark. Seeing him operate outside of being Hulk is always very fun. And Hulk is one of the guys you just want on your team when it pops off, because you never know how far he can take it as far as power level. And the new Immortal Hulk, wildly powerful. But yeah, I've always loved Hulk. Very simple reason for existence, but within the simplicity, they've added a lot of layers with Bruce Banner and his character. So yeah, I love Hulk. That's why I'm at number 4. Number 3, the schemer himself, Tony Stark, Iron Man. I mean, not much you have to say for Iron Man. He's Iron Man. I just love the aspect of him that Tony's not necessarily the best leader. He's not the most inspiring, but you always have to have him on his team because when it comes to making a plan, the dude's like second to none. Prep time, he's made God-busting armor, Phoenix Buster armor, Hulk armor, Thor armor. And I love Tony's character because he has a lot of like personal issues as far as like being a drunk, being a little crazy himself, with his family background, but he is a genius, and in the end, he is the hero that the people need in order to get by. And I love Iron Man because when he gets involved when it comes to his prep time, story is going to get that much crazier. And when there's a major threat, sometimes it takes the super characters like Hulk to take care of it. Sometimes it takes the geniuses like Tony Stark. And he's almost a Batman in a way of his verse, but I love Iron Man, and that's why I'm at number 3. Number 2 might surprise some people, Black Panther. If you noticed, I didn't put Cap on my list because I believe Black Panther is a cooler version of Captain America. When he originally came out in the comics, he was so interesting because of his stealth, his vibranium armor, the kind of tribal tradition of his people made him fascinating. I loved the way he fought with his claws and everything. Christopher Priest's run is one of my favorite Black Panther runs. T'Challa is an absolute genius. He is a guy everyone worries about because of what he's capable of and what his people is capable of. And he makes decisions that a lot of other characters don't have the balls to make. Like one time Doom was going to take all his vibranium because it amps magic. And T'Challa decided to render all vibranium useless. It cost him his throne, but it was a decision he felt had to be made. It was an amazing one. We've also seen Black Panther stand up to characters he doesn't really have business standing up to, but like when Black Dwarf pulled up on Wakanda, Black Panther and his people fed him the hands. And I love Panther's genius, his tech, and he really is, to me, a cooler version of Cap. I wouldn't say cooler than Batman, but I'm a Batman stan. But I love Black Panther as a character. T'Challa's always been great. In the MCU, personally, I thought his role in Civil War was way better than any other part in the movie he had, including the Black Panther movie, but I digress. But yeah, Black Panther to me, number 2. Number 1, my boy Thor. A lot of people might not agree with me on Thor, but Thor is one of those characters people like to call him a jobber. I wouldn't say that. Just because someone holds back doesn't make him a jobber. Thor is the one guy that's always down to throw hands with Hulk. Thor's always down to fight anyone. I mean, this is the guy that looked at the Phoenix Force itself and threw his hammer at it. Like, Thor doesn't care. One of his best moments was Gore God Butcher run. God Bomb, when Thor's trying to rip out the core. And the panel literally says, at this moment, all the gods pray to Thor. I'm like, dude, what a Chad. Thor stood up to amp Juggernaut. It was like, finally, I get to actually wail on someone. And it's just awesome seeing Thor turn up. Thor, also, what makes his character great is he's not from Earth, and he doesn't owe Earth a thing, but he has a certain place in his heart for Earth now that he will always fight for Midgard. He is righteous. He has a lot of pride. A lot of times he does the right thing. And when he goes into like Warriors Madness mode, it's amazing the ass whoopings he hands out. But yeah, I love Thor. Mostly for big major events, the role he plays. Jason Aaron's run with Thor was really good. Krasinski and Backton had very good runs with Thor. And Thor, just his power, as well as he is the premier teammate I would want, just because Thor doesn't back down to anyone. And he will throw down if he has to. I love Thor as a character. That's why I'm at number 1. Anyways, let me know what your top 10 is. Yes, left out Spider-Man, hate Spider-Man. Not going to apologize for it. But if you disagree with any of my placements on this list, I'm more than happy to hear what you say. Obviously, this list is subjective, but I just thought it'd be fun to put out my 10 favorite Marvel superheroes and get the conversation going. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. Join the Splash Dollar Club on Patreon. Like, subscribe, comment. It's been your boy Sir Splash, and I will see y'all later. Peace.